Fever's centre pass, setting up deeper. Beckford receiving, but coughing it up.
Yeah, and great backup from Sligo as well.
Pittman using the fake. She wants to connect with Harton. First option wasn't given. Harton now marshalling to go back. No, be the option up front. Giants stretching out 8-6. What a play. All set up from the youngster Dwyer.
Yeah, Pittman historically has a really great attribute in wanting to hit circle edge, and every time you do that, I remember asking Steph Wood, I think at the start of last year, what makes a good wing attack? She goes, one that hits the circle edge. It just makes the attacking line operate far easier.
Or you know what? When you're Cransburg and you can feed it into Fowler, maybe you don't have to be on the edge. Love seeing those different game styles from the two teams. Price, swift with her footwork, gives the bounce pass. Dwyer.
Oh, Pittman. Oh, I thought she was first hands to that ball. Umpires for this one, Nathan Begley and Tim Marshall. And Justin Barnes, the reserve. Quick ball from Kelsey Brown into Fowler. Steps in over the arm of McDonald. 7 from 8 from Fowler.
Beckford goes cross court. And what a fly. How's that from Jodie Ann Ward?
That was incredible from Jodie Ann Ward. No consideration for a Jamaican teammate, but Fowler is down, clutching her face.
Just whacked in the eyes, but she is well and truly down on court. Hasn't moved since she copped the whack. Medical team providing instant aid. Let's check this out again. Both Giants defenders going for the whack.
Her arm came down, maybe. Jodie Ann Ward's arm came down. You see something more from...
Clutching that right eye.
Yeah, back of hand.
Both teams regrouping. We know when an injury happens, you need to stay in the game. Fever quick to talk tactics. Dan Ryan in the middle marshalling the troops. What do you think he is providing halfway through this first term?
Oh, I think they've probably been a step behind in the defence, and I think Giants have certainly used some pace hitting the circle edge. They've been a little bit more direct. I think Jo Harton is playing a really astute game. I think she's the type of player that likes to work out how her defensive opponent works mentally as well, I think. And so being able to think one step ahead against her English teammate in Fran Williams has certainly meant that she's been able to receive the ball probably closer to the post than what she's used to on first phase. I think what we've seen in the past, she likes to be someone who's a pressure release, I think, at the top of the circle, and then spend some time resetting and manoeuvring that ball around. Giants seem to be playing a little bit more direct so far in this one.
Harton does play such an instrumental role to the Giants and to netball on and off court. She's been signed on a 2-year contract ahead of this season, so through till 2025. Are you expecting her to play more of a role in the Giants lineup beyond that point? Dare we dream and look forward?
Oh gosh, well, I think number one, it depends on performance, and then you also look like someone like Matisse Leatherbarrow, who has been in the Giants program for a while now, and certainly when Jo has missed games or part of games over the last few years, she hasn't really missed a beat. So it's also about that transition phase, and it's up to the coach really to be able to manage that.
So many great young Giants coming through the pathway. As Janelle Fowler takes her feet, she wanders over to the sidelines. It looks like she'll be escorted to the medical room, so we'll keep our eyes on that one.
And Olivia Wilkinson now coming on at goal shooter for West Coast Fever. A new signing for season 2024. Oh, I think that was on in that first look there. Chelsea Pittman ends up with Dwyer anyway.
Just indicates that she wanted her to come forward a bit more. The ball could have been delivered earlier, but the baseline drive worked in the end. Pittman again, setting up a triangle, heads to the pocket.
Oh, bullet pass from Joe Harton, renowned for it, winds up the left arm. Great triangle and rewarded by Dwyer.
Dwyer having a great battle with Ariang. Ariang, right positioning, but just not able to get hands on that last ball. Beckford. I mean, do we even need Janelle Fowler?
She fed it to her like she was.
Great result from the Fever, being able to adjust to Fowler coming off with what we believe is a right eye injury. Both Price and Dwyer calling for the ball on that right-hand channel. Price to reset. Using Dwyer almost as that wing attack, goal attack combination. Happy to use her outside of the ring. Harton can't take that ball.
Yeah, asked a bit much of Harton on that occasion. That's quick play. A ball from Brown to Kransberg in the pocket. Yeah, Wilkinson's feet out of court.
Nervous shooting action from Beckford. 2 misses early. We'll see what she does in super shot time. 35 seconds away. Great defensive effort though from Beckford. Sligo calling for the swing to shake up this Fever zone. That middle channel very hard to get past when you've got Fever protecting the space.
Yeah, Williams was out looking for a hunt. There's the switch again.
Selfless team play from the Giants.
And just ahead of the Power 5 period happening, Giants have called a timeout.
They've got 90 seconds to regroup ahead of the Power 5. Michael, how do you think tactics are going to change now that the two-point shot is coming into play?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think historically the Giants have always been quite confident to try and use the super shot. One, to either kick out a lead, or two, to rein one back in. It hasn't always worked for them. I think there's certainly been matches across the last few seasons. What are we now? Season 4, I think, with the super shot in the league, where it really hasn't paid off for them. So I do wonder whether there's a different approach coming into this season as well. They sit out with a 3-goal lead. Janelle Fowler is not on the court, so I do wonder whether there'll be a bit more of a measured response from them. For Fever, we know that Beckford, as you said yesterday, enjoys a longer range shot. She has for Jamaica. She's not afraid to put those up. Olivia Wilkinson too. Alice Tignell, we know in the past as well, has been an athlete who has backed herself in from super shot range as well. So let's see whether they act confident in this or conservative.
I think the key for the Fever now heading into the Power 5 is knowing that Beckford, her shot has been somewhat unreliable. She's good from the 2-point range, but fighting for that rebound. The task is going to be largely up to Wilkinson to see if she can hold her own, and especially the matchup against Tilly McDonald. They're quite evenly matched for height, so it's really going to come to the tenacity of who can get the right positioning and pull it in. As you do hear that siren signalling, we're into the Power 5. So if you shoot outside that white semicircle, you get 2 points on the board. Wilkinson calling for a ball near the post. Can't pull it in, but just manages. 1 point for her. Pittman with beautiful mid-quarter hold. Don't we love to see that, Michael?
And it was a big ask on that ball too from Dwyer.
Harton wants the swing.
Beautiful ball from Price. Eyes down from the Fever defenders. Katie Ann Dehaney has come on court as well at goalkeeper for the Fever. Just caught a little bit napping.
Giants playing such a tight one-on-one. Until perhaps Ward wants to go for the hunt. Both Giants defenders looking to pick up some loose ball.
Yeah, Wilkinson just off with the super shot attempt.
We talk about that fight for the rebound. McDonald definitely winning that one.
And we've seen already early the elevation from Jodie Ann Ward as well, so it's going to be a real fight under the post.
Harton, goal shooter, playing well outside of the ring. Sneaking back. She knew exactly what she was setting up there, Michael.
She really did, and I think the Fever are a little bit exposed at the minute. There's just a little bit of maturity being shown here in the Giants. They're thinking 2 steps ahead at the moment, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
Both Fever defenders leaving Joe Harton alone at the post. We'll keep an eye and see if they change up tactics to combat that. Harton just way too clever. Beautiful hands from Sliger.
Kelsey Brown telling Beckford where to stand, and that is that ended up in row 3, I think, from Beckford. Offline on the super shot.
Selkirk Stadium fans really getting their hands stuck into the action. Pittman again finds the swing in Harton. She looks for the 2-point shot on the other side of the ring.
Oh, just drops for Dwyer. They're really content to get Fever's heads shaking in the defence end as well. Swing that ball, then a quick 1-2. It's pretty to watch from the Giants.
Fever changing up their defensive centre pass, double teaming as opposed to setting up a wall. Gives Giants a little bit more breathing room heading into the second phase. One-handed pick up from Harton. A one-handed rebound. That's unheard of in SSN.
It's kind of insult to injury, isn't it, when you can just stand under the ring with one arm and get a rebound.
Brown drives strongly, gets pushed into the ring. The contact will be the first call. A bit of trepidation.
Yeah.
That feed into Wilkinson.
Yeah, forgot that Janelle Fowler wasn't on court.
Harton again.
Oh, yes. Footwork from Pittman outside the circle. A chance for Fever now to claim one back, or 2 if they're good enough. Through the hands of Brown.
Beckford and Wilkinson getting caught in the same space. Beckford assertive on her movement.
Yeah, I don't think she should have shuffled back on that occasion. Giants defenders were swarming around her. She should have just been able to take that ball and reset a little bit more appropriately.
Brilliant read from McDonald to predict that passage of play and get her hands on it.
Yeah, and
Fever have 40 seconds. Intensity's lifting here at Selkirk Stadium. Sliger, great pickup, but miscommunication. The acknowledgement between Sliger and McDonald. One over McDonald's head there. With 13 seconds on the clock, Fever want one last goal.
They've got to go to post with 6 seconds remaining. Hands again from Jodie Ann Ward. She's had a monster of a first quarter.
And what a first quarter it has been. Giants with a 7-goal margin over the Fever. Early stages, Janelle Fowler still yet to return to the sidelines. We're keeping our eye on that injury. As we check out all of the highlights and the replays from this first term, Michael Hutchinson, what are your thoughts from the initial 15 minutes?
A little bit chaotic, I think. Whilst the Giants have looked really great in patches, there's still been some loose hands at times. Saw one in the pocket a little earlier, and a long ball from Joe Harton as well, where misread by Jamie Lee Price. But overall, I think they're creating a lot of space in the attack end and really exposing the Fever down there. And Fever now look a little bit different with Janelle Fowler on the bench and Wilkinson at goal shooter.
Some really interesting passages of play, and we'll see the intensity no doubt shift up heading into our second term. We are here because of the support of the City of Ballarat and the Victorian Government. So if you're keen to watch more Netty and get stuck into the SSN season, Vixens memberships are on sale now. So head to melbournevixens.com.au to grab yours and join the hunt in 2024. Also, the Vixens are hosting their annual Fan Day at Federation Square on Thursday the 4th of April during the school holidays. So if you like some face painting, food trucks or activities for kids of all ages, good news, you can head to Fed Square in Melbourne on the 4th of April. Michael, will you be heading there?
Well, it's around the corner from work, so I probably can.
Is there a particular player whose autograph you'll be keen to receive?
Sophie Garvin certainly has made an impact in the Diamonds over the past few years, and I'm rapt that she's signed with the Vixens for 2024.
Well, good news for you, she will be there.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Download the free Get Active Victoria app today.
It was an action-packed first quarter, and the players a quick moment of reprieve before we launch into the second. My name's Hannah Kuhar. Joining me today, Michael Hutchinson. Michael, were there any surprises in the first quarter that you perhaps weren't expecting today?
Probably just the injury to Janelle Fowler, the poor girl, coming off halfway through that opening term. No, I think there's probably a few too many errors than what I would have expected. Obviously, new starting lineups from yesterday as well, so that's probably a little bit to be expected. And it's probably not every lineup that's available to those teams has been put out in a pressure situation like this. Obviously, Team Girls Cup next week in Sydney at Ken Rosewall Arena as well. That'll be another pressure test for them. But a few errors to perhaps iron out, and Fever probably looking for some better accuracy in the second term.
Of course, Giants yesterday, they were handed a defeat at the hands of the Thunderbirds, 56-52. And they've had a few different pre-season matches heading up to play the Queensland Firebirds in Brisbane 3 weeks ago when they took on the Mavericks in Wadawurrung and Griffith. So more regional activity, don't we love to see it? So definitely a shift up in intensity for both teams.
Yeah, I think certainly in regards to high performance output, the closer that you're getting to the season, you're probably looking at more refining than anything else, and making sure that everyone's fit and well for round one.
Pittman, not many options for her. Price provides relief at the sideline, but both Giants mid-quarters spacing out, which gives Harton an opportunity to sneak under the radar and head to the baseline.
Yeah, they're creating a lot of width, and they're really happy to do so. Just looks like there's one change for Fever, having Alice Teague-Neal on at wing attack, Kelsey Brown shifting to centre.
This was their starting lineup yesterday, the combination of Brown into centre, something that we've seen less perhaps of her in centre in recent years, preferring that wing attack bib, but Alice Teague-Neal, such a strong and reliable option in that wing attack bib. I think this is a combination that we'll be seeing a lot of this year.
Yeah, certainly, and as I said earlier, possibility for Yang to move out to wing defence and Jess Answers to move in there as well. And obviously, Kransberg very comfortable at centre.
The pace on Beckford to give and go, be within shooting range, quite impressive. It's her first season in the SSN. Really exciting opportunity, given that she thought she was going to be retiring. Then gets a call from Dan Ryan.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity, and one that you don't want to pass on, really.
Beckford. Zippy change of direction. Wilkinson almost outside the circle. The confidence in Beckford to take that shot rather than look for Wilkinson. That's a positive sign.
Yeah, and far more direct approach as well from Fever to start this second term.
Giants using Sligo twice. Pittman again with the mid-quarter hold. And hard to find a target.
It is, but the Giants, both Hutton and Dwyer, they're just really content to continue to roll off that defender just to try and find where that space is. They're quite patient when they do that.
Teague Neal overlooking Wilkinson's drive as a goal shooter.
Aaron O'Brien on at goalkeeper as well for the Giants to start this second quarter.
Donald shifting out to goal defence. Price. Very lucky to get out of that sticky situation. The Fever wall providing a few headaches for the Giants.
Yeah, Fever bench wanted a held ball. They're probably looking for a few of these in the second quarter.
Harton's hold. It works there when she's got the space, but Fever defenders doing their best to confuse the foot space.
Yeah, and beautiful timing again from the Giants. They've been impressive on that front today.
Both Brown and Teague Neal making the same drive, but Brown, what a ball.
Yeah, Wilkinson gave herself enough space for a beach flag sprint to the post.
Awesome drive from Pittman. She's brave in the take.
That's an apt word to describe Joe Harton, brave. Likes to take the game on. Teague Neal now.
Wilkinson trying to hold almost laterally. Easier for a defender to read, and that's exactly what the Giants do.
I think Wilkinson probably needs to do what O'Brien is doing very well. Find the body first before putting on that hold. She's probably giving O'Brien too much credit and showing her that there's enough space in there to come through and contest.
Brilliant hands from Ariang. She's a diamond for a reason. Oh, sorry, wrong Ariang.
Yeah,
We've got a substitution. This is Ruth. Oh, how exciting for the youngster. She's been a training partner at the Fever for a few years now, and now we've got a sisterly combination, goal defence, goalkeeper.
Perhaps another pair of sisters for the Diamonds in the not too distant future as well.
What a fantastic story that would be. Fever under the post. Beckford with more confidence now. It's been a quarter and 5 minutes. She's starting to
she was
find her shooting rhythm.
1 from 2 from 1 goal range and none from 1 from super shot range in that first quarter.
But the no-look pass from Harton. She's just having fun.
She is. She come to Ballarat for a holiday.
Love watching netball be made that easy. But when you're a champion Rose, no doubt that's how she feels when she plays SSN. Both Fever goalers out of the circle for a moment, but a horror choice from Beckford.
It was, and she's lucky that Price tried to intercept it.
Just misreading where Brown was going to go, as Brown also off 1 foot, just trying to find opportunity when there may not be opportunity.
Yeah.
Beckford happy to shoot from that mid-range. Harton again. She spots the opportunity so quickly and almost ahead of time.
Yep.
It's quite impressive.
Thinking 2 passes ahead, Joe Harton. Oh, Price tried to give Joe Harton a bit of her own medicine then. Ball's coming back.
You wonder if the Giants just have fun in trying to give each other balls as early and as hard as possible.
I reckon they probably do. I reckon that's probably something Julie Fitzgerald just lets them do now. Just fling the ball as quickly as possible.
At training, just pick it at each other and let it be a competition who can take it.
Well, I think it's a real trait of the Giants as well. I think they do love to have that confidence to open up their attack end and create some width and depth, get the defender's head shifting. Great contest there from Price as well.
I love down the other end, just out of shot, but the Wadawurrung sisters already talking to each other on court. You can see older sister Sunday providing Ruth with some feedback. Maybe just an early thumbs up saying, you're doing all right, little sis.
Oh, much better passage of play from Fever. Can't be finished, though, from Beckford. And look how quick the Giants have gone down court. Deserved the finish, deserved the layup from Joe Harton.
And Harton herself calling for a timeout, 90 seconds on the clock to rest, reset, and no doubt Harton with a few instructions to her Giants teammates ahead of coach Julie Fitzgerald stepping in. But how about that last layup? All class from Harton.
Yeah, it was, and it really finished off a really great passage of play that started with that rebound from Erin O'Brien, just straight through the middle like a steam train, Jamie Lee Price. I think Harton half considered stopping and thought, nah, I'm going to take it, and then was quick to call the timeout. A 10-8 start as we reach the halfway mark of this second term for the Giants.
Lots of feedback from both coaches and lots of feedback for the success of pre-season Netty. If you're loving the action, the Team Girls Cup is taking place in Sydney next weekend. So Vixens fans, you can catch every game live on Foxtel and KO. Of course, if you're coming down to the action today, Selkirk Stadium in Wendouree, I'm told it's very, very close to a sellout. So if you're wanting to get tickets, check that ASAP because as of, I think, an hour ago, we were pretty much a sellout.
Yeah, it's only 11:30, so only halfway through the first game, but we're probably sitting at about 65% full at the minute. So people still trickling in and getting their morning coffees, probably a bit of Sunday brunch. And I understand that the place was rocking yesterday, so I expect a bit more of the same today.
Oh, absolutely. I was heading to a coffee shop this morning and they said, sorry, we're really busy. Hope you've got time because there's so much happening. I think how fantastic for regional communities and for netball to be supporting all of those. We're back halfway through the second term. And some good hands from Fever already, taking no time to blast into their attacking third. And Fowler back on the court.
Yeah, guess who should be back on court. And a typical finish from Fever through Fowler. And a centre pass to follow. And already we've been back, 40 seconds, and Fowler's already scored 2 goals.
Looks like the same old from the Fever, back to their steadiest combination. Some changes in the defensive lineup as well. Fran Williams just out of play, but she's back on court. Both Wadawurrung sisters taken off.
Yeah, Katie Antahany back on at goalkeeper as well.
Dwyer gesturing to Jamie Lee Price, please stand on the inside of your player. Don't hold the outside for the swing ball. Price having a chuckle to herself. And the pace from Brown. That's why she was brought over to Fever, for that injection of speed. Playing that role really nicely.
Yeah, quick 1-2 between Brown and Alice Teague-Neal, and Wilkinson also shifted out to goal attack, so Beckford takes a rest on the bench. Started off well, scoring her first 4 goals of the quarter, but just 2 misses in the last few minutes. Great hands from Jess Anstis.
She's just been appointed captain of the West Coast Fever, a real captain's effort there, and to keep that one in court without taking out our umpires, very well done. Oh, hands from potentially Tilly McDonald, but great tip. And the Fever mood has lifted considerably.
Yeah, they've taken 2 off, or 3 off that margin from the timeout. And now a chance to take back another as we hit the Power 5 period again.
So if you want to score a super shot, to shoot outside the white semicircle. Fowler holding around it, but she's just inside. There we go. There's the finesse of the footwork.
She backs Wilkinson, and Wilkinson backs herself.
This is how you claw back a deficit late in the term. This is exactly what Fever is trying to do. Giants in response. Oh, the rebound from Harton, excellent. And Dwyer looks great from the super shot zone. Teague Nield offering second phase. They overlook her into Fowler. Wisely puts it down. Can we see 2 from 2? Not quite from Wilkinson. They'll get a second chance.
It's great effort from O'Brien, contesting Fowler on that rebound.
And Wilkinson, her second super shot of the second term.
Yeah, I wonder where Giants are going to take this one. Is it going to be a matter of anything you can do, I can do better?
Harton doesn't want to have a crack.
Oh, another look away pass though.
She's trying to connect and create some goaler-to-goaler screens to allow Dwyer to have the shot.
Pays off.
Sligo with the contact. Fever happy to rework it round for the 2-pointer.
Fowler is turning into a super shootout.
Price, strong in the pocket, has to use the reset. Great intensity from Alice Teague Nield, making sure that Amy Sligo doesn't have any room to breathe. Teague Nield calling for Wilkinson to take this centre pass.
That was a better cut back into the play for second phase from Wilkinson. And another super shot. She's 3 from 4 this quarter alone.
Pittman wide, wants it deep. Fantastic offer. Hitting that circle edge. Harton, she's overlooked that spot before. She overlooks again.
Dwyer, she felt that was off as soon as it came off her fingertips.
Harton ready for the rebound. Will she use the post?
Yeah.
Oh, we get so excited when we see that, don't we? She doesn't do it.
No, she wants it too.
Really signalling, I'm staring at the post, Fever. Am I going to do this?
Trying to draw a defender to her.
Brown zippy to the 45. Fowler, she sunk one from before. She sinks it again.
Nothing but net.
Fever trying to break through that elusive 3-goal margin. The ball's high to Dwyer and has to use Harton in an awkward angle. Price happy to use the reset.
Another look away pass from Harton. Dwyer, yeah, she held that a while as well.
And an air ball.
Yeah, 2 from 5 from the super shot range this quarter for Dwyer.
Fever, many swings in this play. Teague Nield on the sideline. Wilkinson again. Brown 2. Teague-Nield wanting the ball, but not delivered early. She gives that one off quickly, though. It's Fowler.
Yeah,
so secure under the post.
And Fever know that they've got the centre pass coming as well.
So the strategy we saw yesterday, Fever having to use that 1-point shot off their transition. But when it's their centre pass, they're more likely to look for the 2. And 10 seconds on the clock for the Giants now, ticking down quickly. Price. Price looking at the score and the umpire saying, no, that is delaying play.
Very astute umpiring from Nathan Begley. It could sense the approach from from Price was not in the spirit of the game.
Fever, 1 second to create something, just not enough time. Isn't this interesting? Price going up to Begley, just seeking clarification. Begley will not shift on that decision, and rightly so. It's a hard decision to make as an umpire with 2 seconds to go, but grounds for it.
It kind of tests the officials as well, right? Because it's saying, are you aware of the time that's remaining on the clock? And I think when you, in the last minute or so, potentially act a little differently than what you have for the remaining 14 minutes, umpires are going to pick up on that. So whilst there was only 10 seconds left on the clock, you can try and spill a ball or waltz back to the centre circle to take your centre pass, but I think you need to probably take the same mentality you do with your first centre pass you do for your last, and try and take advantage of it. So Giants lose that centre pass, and Fever will get us underway for the second half.
You feel unlucky for Price because it is the role of the centre to manage the style of play. You wonder if her teammates are going to cop a little bit of flack for not helping her out there. On this court, not sure if you guys can see, but the timing was behind Price on that left-hand side of the court. She didn't have a score ahead of her. The timing device of the Giants was slightly behind her as well, so she was really blind heading into that. You wonder if her teammates could have done a better job of fighting potentially for the rebound and letting it dribble down the court. But we'll leave that for Julie Fitzgerald to decide. It is half-time here at Selkirk Stadium. Giants leading the Fever by a single goal. So much action. We've already seen Fowler off for an injury. She's back now. Some great minutes for both our young sisters, including Ruth, the youngster. It's her first time this weekend out on the court. It's great to see. So plenty more action in the second half. Thanks to the City of Ballarat and the Victorian Government, this is the Ballarat Blitz.
The Backstoppers have hit the road.
We're in Ballarat today to visit some of the region's best local gems thanks to the City of Ballarat.
First stop, Sovereign Hill. Let's go!
Sovereign Hill is a living museum that tells the story of Ballarat's history as a gold rush town. This is no ordinary museum though. You can dress up as a gold rush character from the Victorian era at the 1850s photography studio.
Alright, I was dressed up with my
We had a family one. You have to try the iconic raspberry drops handcrafted at the sweet shop. You can even experience panning for gold on the diggings.
Alrighty, so I think we've worked up a bit of an appetite.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Should we head into town? Alrighty, we're all fueled up. We've had our lunch at Higher Society. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was great.
Very delicious. Now we're here at the Wildlife Park in Ballarat to check out some animals. The park is home to everything from kangaroos, koalas, wombats and emus to snakes, crocs, frogs and lizards.
The park was founded on a passion for conservation. The presentations and experience here are an amazing way to learn and immerse yourself in the animal world. The park is absolutely beautiful, and you can feel the love and care the staff have for all of the wildlife here.
That's it for us today in Ballarat, but there's so much more to do here.
Thank you so much to the City of Ballarat for letting us explore some of your hotspots and letting us show some of our Vixens fans what your town has to offer.
Well, that one's being very cheeky. Make sure you head to visit ballarat.com.au to start planning your trip today.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Download the free Get Active Victoria app today.
The Backstoppers have hit the road.
We're in Ballarat today to visit some of the region's best local gems thanks to the City of Ballarat.
First stop, Sovereign Hill. Let's go!
Sovereign Hill is a living museum that tells the story of Ballarat's history as a gold rush town. This is no ordinary museum though. You can dress up as a gold rush character from the Victorian era at the 1850s photography studio.
Alright, I was dressed up with my
Oh, you were too, yeah.
We had a family one.
You have to try the iconic raspberry drops handcrafted at the sweet shop. You can even experience panning for gold on the diggings.
Alrighty, so I think we've worked up a bit of an appetite.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Should we head into town? Alrighty, we're all fueled up. We've had our lunch at Higher Society. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was great.
Very delicious. Now we're here at the Wildlife Park in Ballarat to check out some animals. The park is home to everything from kangaroos, koalas, wombats and emus to snakes, crocs, frogs and lizards.
The park was founded on a passion for conservation. The presentations and experience here are an amazing way to learn and immerse yourself in the animal world. The park is absolutely beautiful, and you can feel the love and care the staff have for all of the wildlife here.
That's it for us today in Ballarat, but there's so much more to do here.
Thank you so much to the City of Ballarat for letting us explore some of your hotspots and letting us show some of our Vixens fans what your town has to offer.
Well, that one's being very cheeky. Make sure you head to visit ballarat.com.au to start planning your trip today.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Download the free Get Active Victoria app today.
And we've got a big second half here at Selkirk Stadium, home of the Ballarat Blitz, Netball Victoria's pre-season tournament. And if you are a Vixens fan in the house, Vixens memberships are on sale now, so head to melbournevixens.com.au to grab yours and join the hunt in 2024. What a game so far. Giants leading the Fever by a single goal. It's been a nail-biter, nervous start from both teams, coughing up ball, but right now we've got a tremendous battle on our hands. Michael Hutchinson.
Yeah, look, Fever really came back into that second quarter. They were down, I think, was it 29-20 when Giants called that timeout and put on 16 goals to 8 to round out that quarter. A couple of super shots from both. Fowler 2 from 2 in that second term, and Wilkinson 3 from 4. So being able to bring that margin back from 9-1 has been pretty impressive. Could have levelled it up if they elected to go for a super shot on that last passage of play, but they will have the centre pass to kick off the second half.
Big talking point out of the first term was Fowler's injury. We saw it on screen before. She did return to the court in the second term. Are you expecting her to play a big role in this second half?
Yeah, I think they should probably start her for this second half. I think the Fever attack line certainly looked far more confident. I think Wilkinson looked far more confident at goal attack, knowing that she had the likes of Janelle Fowler behind her as well. We saw the speed from Alice Tignilt and Kelsey Brown in the second half of that second quarter really come to light, and it certainly opened up their attack end as well with quick movement and certainly some more front cuts from Wilkinson in the goal circle. She looked more confident going to the post as well, and a confident Fever is a dangerous Fever.
Of course, Giants starting their warm-ups now. A few players still with their T-shirts on. Kelly Singleton played a pivotal role yesterday. She's got the T-shirt on, as does Sam Winders. Had a really great game at wing defence. We'll see if she gets on, as well as Monica Atai. She shot the lights out when she was used. Do you think the Giants are going to go deep into their bench, potentially in this second half, to protect their lead?
Oh, it's hard to say. I think there's the you want multiple things out of the weekend. You want no injuries. You want to perform well. A win's really kind of what you're after across this weekend. I mean, there's no title at the end of it. I think it's more about ensuring that you're getting enough minutes in the legs across those athletes that are here. Obviously, not everyone is a contracted 10 athlete as well, so it's about management. Joe Harton set out yesterday as well, so maybe that was part of the plan coming into this weekend already, that Callie would play one and Joe would play a full one as well. But as we've said at the top as well, 27 days until day one, you're really trying to look to refine what you've been put out across what has been quite a long and arduous pre-season.
Well, Winders has taken the T-shirt off. She's just warming up with Gina Crampton, former Silver Ferns captain now. So we'll keep our eyes on that one. Will we see Sammy Winders take the court? Over to Fever. They're back on court. Fowler, she was slow to come out, but she's got the goal shooter bib on. Any surprises from Dan Ryan, do you think, heading into that halftime chat and now back out onto court?
No surprises. I think Ruth Aryan getting some minutes as a training partner for this year has been, you don't bring players from one side of the country to the other to have them sit on the bench. So it was certainly really important for her to get some minutes, and I hope she gets a few more in this second half. As I said at the top as well, certainly a lot of flexibility through the mid-court I think we've seen over the years from Fever. That's probably something else that they will probably look to exploit again in this second half, and obviously rotated 4 defenders through their defensive end, the goalkeeper and goal defence positions as well. So I think number one, getting through the weekend without any injuries is probably the first port. But on the back of yesterday's matches as well, it came down to the last quarter and the last few minutes for those results to shift. Both both wins for the Giants. The Thunderbirds and the Fever yesterday, coming on the back of some final quarter performances. So who knows? I don't think you can probably read too much into just a third quarter performance. We saw that second quarter from Fever was 24-18. That was their best quarter of the weekend so far. So probably some more surprises in terms of performance to come potentially.
Yeah, Fever beating the Vixens yesterday 66-62, very much off that fourth quarter effort. They were down the whole day, but as soon as they took the lead, they did not look back. So we'll see what they do now. Down by 1 goal, they're going to take the centre pass, the first one of the third term, 30 seconds until play resumes. Fever have had a funny few years, of course, grand final victory into last year, potentially an underwhelming result, would you say? People were hoping they'd go back-to-back.
Well, I think any season that you have Janelle Fowler in your side, you should be making top 2. So I think there's certainly disappointment in not being able to make a final last year. But they've certainly had a refresh in terms of their line this year. You know, no Courtney Bruce is probably the big one. Sasha Glasgow to the Mavericks, and obviously she's unfortunately injured in across this pre-season as well. So I'd expect, you know, Fever certainly pushing, despite all the changes they've had in the off-season, pushing for a Final Four spot this season as well.
6 ins and outs, as you mentioned. Jittery start from both teams in this third term. Lob was too big over Alice Teague-Neal, but Giants coughing it up quickly. Fever to score off their centre. How's the pressure? Giants having to take some strong takes. Impressive from Pittman when she's got 2 Fever athletes. Fever sandwich, left and right. Brown on 1 foot. And this looks like the Fever of old, or rather the Fever of comfort, with Alice Teague-Neal's solo on the ring, Fowler by herself. And it is Winders who's jumped into that centre position for the Giants. Jamie Lee Price having some time on the bench.
Yeah, played under Julie Fitzgerald at Waikato Bay Plenty Magic in the ANZ Championship, as did Jamie Lee Price and Joe Harton. So, bit of a reunion for the Giants.
A lot of Kiwi connections in that team. Of course, Gina Crampton as well on the bench. A Kiwi herself. Harton holding high.
Yeah.
But an easy hold when you've got your player at your back.
Yeah, she just held the right angle on that hold and gave herself essentially the whole half of that goal circle to glide into.
Dehaney, I think a little quiet compared to what I thought potentially this weekend, but definitely today. Obviously a tough job against Joe Harton, but we'll keep our eyes on Dehaney and see if she sparks up in this third term. McDonald heading into the stands of Selkirk Stadium. We said the fans are getting involved today, whether the ball spills out to the third row or if you get a meet and greet with Tilly McDonald, a good result.
Should have had the Sharpie handy. Oh, great defensive pressure on the line from Fever. Alice Teague-Neal, clean hands to it. I don't think that pressure on the transverse line is spoken enough about.
Just the pressure of being in the right position is almost enough as a defensive mid-quarter.
Just putting any doubt in your opposition's mind is a win. Tangling of the feet there, I think, between Harton and Dehaney.
It's the youngster in Dwyer who gets the shot up. Fever setting up an overload, both goal attack and wing attack on the one side. And the ball into Fowler, not good enough.
No, and great elevation from McDonald to get the tip as well. Yeah, it was over the top of Janelle's head, wasn't placed well from Wilkinson, but she makes up for it with the goal.
And she acknowledges with it, sorry, I know I put it in the wrong spot. Dwyer out wide. Joe Harton's at the post. Got a lot of room between her and Dehaney. Giants want to use it, but Dehaney's closed the gap. Very hard to contain Joe Harton, but perhaps some footwork, extra footwork needing to be done by Dehaney to get the better of that combination.
Yeah, small feet's key.
Fowler, massive hold at the top of the ring. She's got the entire circle behind her. Fever taking their time. Lovely loop from Brown to connect.
Yeah, waited for the mismatch and for Jodie-Ann Ward to go in for the contest, but as we saw in that first quarter in particular, Jodie-Ann Ward's got some impressive elevation.
Heading into the 10-minute mark of the third quarter, you wonder if there's a Fever timeout to potentially change up the defensive lineup. You get the sense that Joe Harton's running a field day out there, and is there a different strategy? They've used the wall previously. Does it give Dehaney room to go for a fly instead of trying to win the 1v1 v Harton, which she's not doing at this stage?
Yeah, I think it's probably the structure out front that's probably not working enough. The ability for Giants to get either great width or depth on second phase is really allowing them to have those connections far closer to the goal circle than probably the time that Fever would like to allow them. So probably needs to be a little bit more work up front across the wing defence, goal defence positions for mine.
Wilkinson with the mad dash along the baseline. Read that the play was heading to the pocket. Brown doing so much work to set up triangles. Pittman rolling out, trying to wait for the defenders to offer her ball further down the court. Exactly what happens. Pittman trying to use fakes to ward off the hands of Dehaney.
Oh, great rebound for Dehaney.
That's a stat you want to see on the sheet.
She's been hungry for some ball and she took her opportunity. Tignell wants to play on quickly and Wilkinson onto Fowler.
Fever taking the lead and a centre pass. And within 10 seconds, it's now a 2-goal margin heading the way of the Fever.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, Fever haven't had a lot of ball in this quarter, so to have been able to achieve that turnaround, they've been quite economical in the way that they've been able to overturn that 1-goal deficit from half-time. Just being a little bit more patient in attack as well, as we see a reset from Brown.
Tilly McDonald doing so much work to confuse the space with Fowler. Fowler having to offer 3 different holds to get the ball to the baseline. Giants,
Joe Harton.
Yeah, happy to take the longer shot there. They're very patient on the delivery.
She's practicing for the Power 5 already.
That's it, 2 minutes to go until that Power 5. Wilkinson wide.
Yep. Wilkinson had an acre of space on Ward. And Teague Neal picked the moment to move it on.
Giants setting up an overload. There'll be a contact call anyway, giving Pittman a few different options. And Harton, how about the hold of Dehaney on the offside of the circle?
That was a great swing from Giants.
Just so cleverly orchestrated.
Yep.
The fact that Harton is deciding exactly where she wants to shoot from 3 balls before that pass is actually delivered is so clever. The task is up to Dehaney to be a bit better on that read. You can see they're setting up.
See, it's so subtle, and then she moves off.
Perhaps the defensive unit of Fever, Fran Williams, Dehaney, they all need to chat a little more as Dehaney does try to have a fly. Pittman loudly telegraphing that she wanted the ball in the pocket. Dehaney backing herself to have a go, albeit later timing. Great intensity from Kransberg.
Yeah.
Pittman providing some mid-court instruction as to how they should be setting up on the circle.
Sweet shot from Dwyer. Just 30 seconds out from the power 5 now.
Fever. It was a decisive hold from Fowler, and they don't hesitate to give it to her.
Wilkinson, collects her own rebound.
And that's the siren for the Power 5, but Giants will take their timeout instead.
I was just thinking, are they going to take one? And right on cue, much like the first quarter.
You see these teams breaking each 15-minute quarter, often into 5-minute chunks. The 5 minutes to settle in, 5 minutes to do some damage, and 5 minutes to finish off with the super shot. Do you think either team's going to employ some different strategy heading into the final 5 minutes and now that they're eligible to shoot these 2-pointers?
I think Fever have done, taken advantage of opportunities so far in this quarter defensively, and so I think given that Giants may change their strategy, I'm sure Dan Ryan, as the tactician that he is now trying to prepare that defensive end for the changes that may come. I think through the middle, the Fever have been far more patient and have been far more in sync as well. Whether that means that they will continue this goal approach or attempt super shots, I'm not too sure at this stage, but they were far more willing to go for super shots in the second quarter than the first.
Absolutely. Fever breaking into their ends of the court, different groups. Giants happy to have one central chat. Of course, Fever have had so many ins and outs out of their team. Big ins for the team at the moment. You can see Kelsey Brown came across from the Collingwood Magpies, Fran Williams from England, Shanice Beckford from Jamaica, Katie Ann Dehaney from Jamaica also, Jordan Kransberg elevated from training partner status, and Liv Wilkinson coming across as a training partner. All of those players having a massive role today. We'll see what they do in the final 5 minutes of the third term with a 2-goal lead. It's Brown trying to hold up play. Again, Alice Teague very present on the transverse line. Awesome work from a wing attack.
And Wilkinson now with a hand in.
Giants having to be careful about where they deliver the ball, opting from Dwyer solo. And Harton, how was she allowed so much space on the baseline?
Yeah, Dehaney just caught napping. Needs to be a little bit more proactive in there.
Fever working backwards off their centre pass. 3 balls, 4 belt balls still in their middle third. Brown playing very high and now finally into the goal third. But when the ball's in the hands of Alice Teague, Neil, you know it's going to foul up within a millisecond. Giants 2 goals down. Happy to find Pittman on the side, and Dehaney unsure whether she wanted to go for that ball. She doesn't commit fully to the Pittman intercept, but she doesn't commit fully to Joe Harton. And
I think Joe probably should have just gone for the one on that occasion rather than looking to set it and attempt a super shot. Sometimes it's more important to just have the scoreboard ticking over than running the risk of missing a super shot and turning the ball over.
Wilkinson has the baseline free, plays the decoy sweep. Fowler near the post and she receives it again. You talk about goal security.
Yep.
That's exactly what the Fever opt for. Wilkinson wide.
I think 2 on a turnover. That in some Super Netball games they're so rare, you kind of want to take advantage of something that you know is far more of a guarantee than attempt a super shot. Now, I mean, they can run the risk now on their own centre pass, but I think turnover conversion is pretty important.
Some horror moves from Fever. Firstly, Brown forcing the 2-on-1 into Fowler, overlooking Wilkinson, but again, slip up of the hands. Giants, they seek to punish, and that's what they do. Closing the margin, 1 goal now. Giants centre pass. Giants sourcing opportunity, overlooking Dwyer, who's by herself in the ring. Harton, short ball. Dehaney causing some nerves, but clearly not at all. Dwyer, she's a pro for a reason.
Yeah, look at that. One turnover, and you go from 3 down to 1 up. That's how punishing the Giants can be. Wilkinson now. Heels flapping on the edge of the circle.
Just confusing as to where Fever want to shoot from. They overlook the 1-pointers, but when they get the ball in the 2, sometimes don't look happy to shoot.
And another turnover now.
McDonald wide as a goalkeeper. Reset option. Sliger doing her best to contribute. Pittman just caught very high. Giants don't have any options until Joe Harton says, I'm going to sort this out myself and drive through as goal shooter. The Fever box doing a lot of work.
Oh, good hand from Aryang. Sends Fever into attack again.
Teague Neal skipping down the court like a schoolgirl.
Good finish from Wilkinson on that occasion. Fever take the lead again with a minute to go in the third.
1 goal, 1 minute, and Fran Williams tries to hunt. Timing's just off, but Harton, she's never off. She's securing the 2-pointer. Fever again stuck in that pocket. They've overlooked shots from there before.
Wilkinson backs herself. Didn't get enough height on that shot either.
An umpire judging the ball to come off the hands of Fowler. She's the tallest player on court, but couldn't pull in the intercept. Giants, they're on the ring within milliseconds. 15 on the clock. Harton lines up for the 2, doesn't come off. Dehaney, wasteful with the pass. Harton with the tip, and Dehaney. Awesome rejection, but let it be known it's going to be a penalty. Giants to shoot after the siren. Dwyer calling for some mopping action that can't wait till 3/4 time break for the shot. And the Giants head into 3/4 time with a 3-goal lead. It's been a seesawing third term. Fever had their moments, but Giants coming through strong at the end. 56-53 at 3/4 time. We're going to head to a quick break. Plenty more action in this 4th term. Who is going to take out the Chockies here at the Ballarat Blitz?
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Download the free Get Active Victoria app today.
A big fourth term ahead from the Ballarat Blitz. It's been a seesawing affair. Fever coming into the third term with, you'd think, all the momentum, but Giants, it's now their 3-goal lead heading into the fourth. My name's Hannah Kuhar. Joining me, Michael Hutchinson. Michael, are we raising early alarm bells that the Fever weren't able to hold on and that the Giants were able to swing a lead late in the third?
Yeah. Worked really hard in the first 10 minutes to gain that 1-goal advantage. Were really, I think they were still really confident in that first 10 minutes. Didn't get a lot of ball, but certainly made use of it to grab that 1-goal lead, and then an opportunity to take it out even further, and a couple of super shots away. What was it? 3 from 3 for Dwyer in that third term. Harton 1 from 3 in the last 5 minutes, and all of a sudden Giants, particularly with that shot after the three-quarter time siren, now out with a 3-goal lead. Fever need to tidy up a little defensively, particularly during the Power 5 period.
We spoke about the 6 ins for the Fever, but let's chat about their 6 outs and how that's changed things. Of course, Courtney Bruce, the headliner of the gang, heading off to Sunshine Coast Lightning. Rudy Ellis, Melbourne Vixens. Sasha Glasgow to the Mavericks, albeit not probably playing this year due to injury. Kim Jenner, Melbourne Mavericks also. Verity Simmons called her retirement, heading to AFLW, and Emma Kosh being delisted. It feels like they're really missing Courtney Bruce, not only the leadership that she provided as the captain, but her presence in that goalkeeper bib. I know we've said there's opportunity for Fran Williams. Will she fill that role? Potentially not. Katie Andahaney, will she fill that role? I don't know. How do you see the Fever changing to the new defensive stocks in both the leadership sense and on-court sense?
Yeah, look, it's a tough one. They've lost, I think experience is probably the biggest thing out of those losses for Fever. And, you know, Katie Ann's been around for quite some time now, obviously, you know, through her time with the Sunshine Girls as well. I think it's a little bit of structure. Now you're including 2 new defenders into your starting line, which is quite significant. And when, you know, particularly when Sanda Aryang is not on court, as she shifted out to wing defence, it takes time to build relationships. So Fran Williams and Katie Andahaney are probably going to take a number of lessons out of this today about where they need to work on as a pair heading into the season. There's been a couple of times where I think their heads have just been twisting this way and that way because the Giants are just so confident in swinging the ball across multiple channels in that attacking third, and it's going to take some time for them to get used to, but there's probably some things that they probably need to tidy up individually as well, and certainly footwork is one of them.
We talk about the changes that Fever are making to their defence. They have made some further changes. Ruth Aryang taking the court, as well as her sister Sunday. Fever 4 goals down now. Aryang.
That was a great tip from Winders. She's moved to wing defence and got great hand in the air.
Fever protecting the middle channel defensively. All players setting up on the inside of their players. And the fly from Ruth.
There's been many flies from Fever today. Not many successful either.
Excellent from the youngster. She's cleaned up at Wannell level. Declared the MVP of the league at one point. Now stepping up into the SSN stage, and great to see her taking her opportunity to have a crack. As down the other end, her teammate in Fowler steps in. Easy shot. Fever looking to claw back from their 5-goal deficit. Long ball to Harton. Marshalling her troops back, saying, give us support on the line in case we need the reset. A great reminder for all young wing defences and goal defences.
Answers back on at centre. Beckford didn't take part in the third quarter. Back on at goal attack for Fever.
Clunky footwork from Fowler. She's caught on the back foot, but she nods, she's okay. Price to the middle, Pittman. 1-2, 1-2. Lots of offers. Awesome hands from Williams getting the touch. Pittman has to throw the ball off 1 foot running out of court. Giants retain possession. And just timing off the leap of the youngster and Ruth Ariang. Giants goaling combination outsmarting that leap. Beckford. Two-handed ball, misreading the timing or the placement of Alice Teague-Neald's lead. Doesn't matter though, the penalty's given. Teague-Neald just indicating to her teammates, using all of that experience. She's been at the Fever a long time now. No doubt a leadership opportunity for her to marshal the troops and her newcomer Beckford.
That was gutsy from Dwyer. Was keen to just piff that ball through the mess.
Teague-Neald setting up for the line. Beckford, second phase. Love the casual walk in. It's brilliant when you see a goal attack on the move, but just walking. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected.
Her first goal for the quarter, Beckford.
Pittman doing a lot of work to get through two defenders, and two defenders clobber Jamie Lee Price.
Oh, and Winders did everything in her power to stay onside.
Giants bench having a good giggle at that one, no doubt a fine in that.
Probably end up on TikTok later on this afternoon.
Opportunity for Fever to settle the play. It's a 4-goal margin now. They're drawing it in with the centre pass. Beckford has to look backward. Still hanging out round the transverse. And awesome lob. She read that so clearly off Fever's hold, of Fowler's hold. What a great move for Fever. West Coast Fever wall gives opportunity for Beckford to get her hands to it. Jamie Lee Price, so determined in her drive, knows how to pull the contact against Ariang.
Dwyer is short on the shot. Grabs her own rebound though.
Dwyer happy to let the time just click down. Have some confidence. 3 goals up now, make it 4. Beckford, the solo driver over the line. Teague-Neald happy to play second fiddle round the top of the circle.
Again, wrong choice of pass. Wasn't placed well for Fowler, and Jordan Ward had her well covered.
Price having to drive as the sacrificial lamb. Winders rolling out of trouble. Doesn't matter that Dwyer's calling for the ball solo on the other side of the court. She'll get used now. And that's a tough play from the Giants. A lot of strong takes and strong drives from individuals.
It was. I mean, it was risky, but it just shows how confident they are.
How's the excitement out of Ariang? The whole Fever bench on their feet. This is the time for them to generate turnovers, so some great work from the defensive end. Harton takes the inside pivot to head to the post.
Yeah, just kind of gave Fran Williams the side eye on her way through as if she was going to pass, and went, no, well, you've given me an acre of space to the post.
Teague-Neald overlooking Fowler's ball instead, getting it to Beckford, then Fowler for the higher percentage shot dead straight in mid. her second penalty in 2 plays. Dwyer, she takes the long shot, looks to Harton, gives to Harton. And that's a 6-goal margin now for the Giants. Fever have got their work cut out for them halfway through the 4th.
Yeah, they do. You kind of don't want to save yourself for the Power 5 period, and we know either team can really win it from there, but Fever not looking too sharp at the minute, and Jodie and Ward, great reflexes.
Beckford needed to take the ball strongly, and she didn't do that on that occasion. Giants muscle. Take it instead. Price getting clobbered on her drive.
Well, she just continued to drive straight into her teammate after she didn't pass her the ball.
But she's okay. Receives the ball again. Swing. Harton overlooked. Pittman taking time. She wants the right option. And the option is Harton. She's overlooked this shot 3 times already today. She does it again. The no-look pass not working for her.
We need a separate stat for the no-look pass.
It's one that the SSN, they do a lot of work in innovating the stats of the game, but I agree.
Yep. Fever now into attack. Fran Williams, Teague Neal is a little stuck.
Williams again searching for options, has to go behind her to Teague Neal, playing it further back to Ariang. Teague Neal wanting desperately to get to the top of the circle, that which she does, but taking on 2 Giants, albeit to the strong target in Fowler. That's showing signs of some desperate thirst.
Yeah, it was putting her teammate under pressure, and now I think, is that the first time today that Fever have called the timeout?
They've got 90 seconds to regroup ahead of the Power 5 period. It's going to click in about a minute's time. So Fever at the hands of Dan Ryan looking to swing some changes. I can see, I think Sunday Ariang's got a bib off. We'll see where she goes. Potentially some changes through that defensive end. We put them to task at the start of the 3rd quarter talking about the big outs, particularly Courtney Bruce leaving the Fever. How do you think they've responded, and would you be thinking, heading to Teen Girls Cup next weekend, that there are any further combinations that the Fever need to explore, or is this what we're seeing for 2024?
No, I think they'll probably look to solidify it. I haven't heard what the bench will look like for Teen Girls Cup next week. Are they only allowed to take their 10? Can they take their 12? So that probably is another consideration for them as well. Team Girls Cup next week, you're playing 40-minute matches, 2 on the Saturday as well, and you're probably looking to rotate through again. So I think combination-wise this is it, but looking to strengthen them across the board at this point.
Well, plenty more netty action this weekend and next weekend as well, Team Girls Cup, where every Vixens game is live on Foxtel and KO as play resumes.
Williams hasn't been able to get a hand to many in this game, but comes up with a timely touch for Fever. Ooh. I mean, Pittman did read the pass that was going in, just took the wrong line.
Fowler, she's got all the space of the circle behind her. Teague Neal, preferring Beckford out the front. Pittman indicating that the Giants defenders are going to stream forward, help players out. Winders feels that help with a tip. McDonald, unlucky.
Quick ball into Fowler. And we do have a slight score discrepancy between the one... Oh, no. Now they've just sorted themselves out.
Pittman uses the fake, doesn't want Harton under the post. Now we're heading into the Power 5, so those 2 pointers are going to count. Price dribbles the ball. Pittman. Plenty of options. Harton doesn't want the long shot, but who wants it? Fran Williams wants it. Ariang wants it. Fever, they're all over this. Lot of energy off the Fever bench. They know they've got 4.5 minutes to turn this 3-goal deficit into somewhat of a lead. Fowler does her part. And a timeout to the Giants. Well, that is an impressive 1 minute, and already Giants feel the pressure.
It is. I mean, 4 goals scored by Fever and a centre pass to follow, a chance to level it up. Again, Fran Williams getting a hand in, great backup from Ariang, and set Fever into attack once again. So Dan Ryan will be chuffed with that performance over the last 90 seconds or so to get themselves right back in it.
So handy to use these timeouts as instructional timeouts sometimes, but also to stilt the momentum of the other team. And when a team such as Fever get the run on, Coach Julie Fitzgerald of the Giants doing everything in her power to change the result or change that stem of flow. 4 minutes 20 now. Michael, do you have an inkling of which way this is going to go?
I'm broke, so I can't put money on either way, I don't think. I think either team are really good enough. I certainly think Giants have been in control for a little bit more, and even when Fever came back at them in that third quarter and they did relinquish the lead, there was certainly no panic from the Giants, so they certainly have it within them. They just need to be able to come up with the ball at the given time.
Fever centre pass. They're in the box seat to cause an upset. They were late in the fourth term yesterday as well.
Yeah, 18-13. They took the last quarter against the Vixens yesterday to come away with a 4-goal win. And likewise, actually, Thunderbirds were 14 goals to 6 in the last quarter against the Giants yesterday. So,
and this is a huge call. Both Fever goalers trying to set up a screen, come together to generate opportunity, but instead they cough up the penalty. That's going to be extremely costly for the Fever if they want to win this match. Giants sense the urgency and sense the opportunity, but Pittman, she's not happy. That she thinks there were hands to that.
yeah, certainly hands on the pass.
Winders. Huge collision, works out in her favour. Giants maintain possession. Pittman off and short. Ariang read that so early.
Yeah, so early, about a week early.
Fowler tries to settle things down, use the reset of Ariang. Beckford, she doesn't take the ball strongly enough. And you know in the SSN comp, people are coming from left, right and centre and physically challenging it for them. So no doubt her SSN debut, new game style from Jamaica, might be a new challenge for her. Price, composed. Harton looks back. Some wide options. Pittman calls wide. The hands are clobbering Price. Dwyer uses short again. So many short balls from Giants, just trying to chill the thermostat, and that's the ball from Price. 2.5 to go in this fourth term. Giants centre pass. They're not in any time pressure. And you see that mapped out on Price's face. Happy to get it back, kick it back to the line. But when Teague Neild is such a threat on the transverse as she has been all day, there's no such thing as an easy pass back. But the super shot's good. Giants extending their lead now to 5 goals. Fever have 2 minutes to change their fortunes. Beckford wide, looks back. Ariang, patient. Brown, can't see over the hands of Price, doesn't matter. Teague Neild takes the penalty. Fowler has the whole post. Beckford backs herself. She'll get a second opportunity and makes good. Fever 2 points closer. It's a 3-goal margin now, 130. Price looks short to Winders. Pittman, not struck with opportunity, rolls to the pocket, still high. Harton high in the circle as well. Dwyer, deep breath. Will she go the reset? No, she goes for the one-pointer in Harton. Harton happy with that result. Nerves staying at bay for the Giants. 1 minute for the Fever.
Not wholly within at the centre pass.
Kelsey Brown's going to be devastated with that call. Such a coach killer, and with 1 minute on the clock, pretty much kills all chances that the Fever have of clawing back. 40 seconds now. Giants happy to wind the clock down. Dwyer. Not in doubt. Harton takes her time to pass the ball back, protecting Jamie Lee Price from another indiscretion. The take from Harton's impressive. Williams out for Hunt. Again, Dwyer, super shot, no. Opts for Harton. Harton happy to kick it round. Some disconnect from the Giants goalers, both in the same spot. Harton with the buzzer beater attempt doesn't work out, but what does work is the result for the Giants. 5-goal victors over the West Coast Fever for their second match of the Ballarat Blitz, the official pre-season tournament here in Ballarat, thanks to Netball Victoria, the City of Ballarat and the Victorian Government. Giants, well, swings and roundabouts for them. Fever definitely had their moments and they had their opportunities. How do you think, Michael Hutchinson, the Giants will be feeling with this win?
I think they'll take real delight in the fact they were able to close out that last quarter 15-13, particularly on the back of, letting that one go against the Thunderbirds yesterday after they'd led for most of that match. Certainly got a little bit hazy in the last few minutes during the Power 5 period, and turnovers from either side. It really could have gone either way, but certainly in the last 2 minutes or so there were some steady heads from the Giants. They took their time in getting that ball to post. They really opened up the space the way that they did, particularly in that first half of the match, and guided themselves quite gently to that victory.
Of course, Jo Harton, pretty much, I'm going to call her my MVP of today. I think she was so instrumental to the Giants lineup, considering especially she didn't play yesterday. So how do you think her role is going to change throughout the season for the Giants?
I think it's still important as ever. I think her experience is certainly something. Her intelligence, particularly in being able to read her opponent and the way the structures are set up out in front of her and how she can break them, are certainly things that are certainly in her bag of tricks, and have certainly meant that she's been able to have longevity in this game. So I don't think things will change too much for her. I mean, it's fantastic. It's been a long time since we've seen her without strapping on her knees as well. So she looks like she is back to perhaps a more comfortable position than what she has been over the past few seasons, which is great for the Giants, and certainly a warning for the rest of the competition.
And awesome to see her combining so ably with Sophie Dwyer. She played a killer game today. A lot of pleasing building of connections throughout the Giants mid-court, albeit we see a Price turnover on the screen now. But so much to like from the Giants. They finished this weekend 1-1. To the Fever, look, it's a long flight back over west. What thoughts do you think are sitting in the mind of Dan Ryan, the coach, as he takes the flight back to Perth?
I can't speak too much for yesterday, but certainly a lot of changes that were made across the line today, lots of combinations that were tested, and even for only part of quarters as well. So certainly there's still 27 days. I mean, there's no panic stations. You are looking to solidify what you have. I think the Fever know where they sit comfortably in terms of their line. And certainly coming up against a few different combinations, probably not so much in the attack end for the Giants, is certainly a test for their defence end. And there's a lot of note taking. So when they do come up against the Giants twice across the season, they'll be able to flick back on that. But as we spoke about a little bit earlier as well, lots of combinations defensively out from the Fever as well. You had the Aryang sisters in the defensive circle. Obviously, Ruth is a training partner with the side this year. And then with Dehaney and Williams, they're a brand new combination for the club as well. So those things like that, they'll take time. Where does Sunday Aryang fit? And it will depend on their opposition as to how, their defensive lineup will start probably every game across the year.
So much to like, and so much to like for Vixens fans. They've got the clash against the Thunderbirds not too far away, so keep tuning in if you want to see the Vixens and the Thunderbirds. If you are a Vixens fan, make sure you get your calendar out, because Thursday, 4th of April, mark that on your calendar. The Vixens are hosting their annual Fan Day at Federation Square during the school holiday. So an opportunity to see the dress presentation, hear from players and coaches on the big stage. And of course, we are here thanks to the City of Ballarat and the Victorian Government. Plenty more action right after this break. We're going to grab a quick drink. It feels like half time for everyone watching at home. Plenty of love on the Facebook feed, so keep those comments rolling in. We're going to hop to a quick sandwich break and get strapped in for our second match. Vixens and the Thunderbirds, kicking off 1 p.m. Eastern.